Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. If you've ever wanted to be the creator of your own life, then do we have the Awaken the Power Within show for you. Today I'll be talking with Dr. Amao Soria, the founder of the Center for Spiritual Self-Awakening, a speaker and the author of numerous books on metaphysics, including Healing Without Medicine and his latest, Awaken the Power Within. And that's just what I want to talk with him about today, about becoming your own magician and your power to create. That, plus we'll talk about shining shoes and selling newspapers, Ralph Waldo Emerson and making decisions, what in the world is Krybalion, the power of abracadabra, and what on earth does E equals MC squared really have to do with anything? So welcome to the show, Albert. Are you ready to shine?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and a mighty woohoo for having you here. So before we dive right into things, Albert, can you tell us a little bit about your earliest years in your childhood?
Well, I have been raised in a very poor environment. I was the oldest child of 5 children, and my parents have no means to send me to school, and I make all my effort to go anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was attracted always to libraries in my town, so I used to go there by myself. However, since my family was very poor, I have to work since I was very young. So in order to put some food on the table.
Yeah.
So, but the beautiful thing is I become acquaintance with a new thought movement and spiritual literature, as well as inspirational books, which helped me and gave me the impulse to go ahead.
And how did you get introduced? You were, if I understand right, you were shining shoes, selling newspapers as a little child. You're doing everything that you could to help your family. You moved to Lima even to try to send money back to your family. How did you get introduced to New Thought books and teachings?
Right. That's very interesting question. Actually, I was always asking why there is difference, why other children were born in families which have everything and they didn't take advantage, and how other children who have not have the same fortune have been successful in life. I read a lot about the president of the United States, like Lincoln, and other presidents who were in the childhood were very poor. However, they become president of the United States. That was very inspirational for me.
Mm-hmm. And so you started, I guess, was it when you were in Lima, you first started reading people like Ralph Waldo Emerson? In fact, I think that's important. Ralph Waldo Emerson, once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen.
Exactly. That's absolutely true. I prove it with myself.
What was the decision that you made?
The decision that I have to make a difference in this world. If other people, like Lincoln, who was very poor, and the other president of the United States, or people who have become millionaires in USA, and I can follow their example, I can do something. So my decision was that I have to do something in life for myself and for my family.
And so you educated, or in a sense, you forced yourself, forced isn't the right word. How would you describe the mental environment that you created that helped you to be able to go from high school? We're talking Peru here. It's a very different system to go from high school to getting into higher education, to go to a bachelor's, to go to a master's, to go to a PhD.
The idea is that if you decide, as you said before, once you take a decision, the world will conspire to make it happen. So I was assured with that statement. I make the decision that I have to be successful in my studies. I went to school and I get into the university, and I try to become very familiar with the new thought movement and the positive thinking writers. So they help me a lot, like in pursue my goals in life.
So let's talk about some of the new thought concepts and some of the ones that can help all of us here today. And you say, let's talk about the mental universe. You say, our human task is to wake up and recognize ourselves as part or aspects of God as nature and behave accordingly.
Right. Thank you for bringing up that. The problem is that we have is the mass media and that the education have indoctrinated us like we are powerless. For example, Christian religion, they said we are sinful people, that we don't deserve. Well, we have to go to church to ask for forgiveness, or the priest or somebody else have to help us. But it's not true. Every human being have the inner self. If we allow the inner self to guide you and to be flourish in you and to go ahead, you can become whatever you want in life. Like I try to do it, and I still following these teachings in order to get more productive life.
How do you define the inner self? Because you spend a long time in your book, and we won't probably go in that direction today. I want to get into the how-to side, but you talk about a lot of the self-help is not focused on where it's really about. What it's really about is the inner self and the inner decision and the inner wisdom. What does that mean?
That means that you have to be confident about yourself and listen the small, still voice in you. They are there to help you. And that's my experience. When I decide to do something, it seems that the providence, somehow, they provide the needs or the means, or you reach people, or you get acquainted with some people who is going to lead you to the goal that you set up. That's very important. And that's come from your inner self. You know, your inner self know which path is going to lead you. You just have to allow your inner self to take you to the path that you have decided before.
Thank you. There's a big theme that's been coming up with me lately, which is the theme of trust versus faith, or a knowing even versus faith. You mentioned an important word here, confidence. How do we have confidence in our inner self if we're in a self-perpetuating cycle of not seeing it?
Right. You have to break the mass opinion, the mass media, the indoctrination through meditation. And the meditation is going to lead you to cultivate how to get in touch with your inner self. The problem is we have been indoctrinated since we were very child that we are not worthless, that we are not good, that we deserve somebody else to act as an intercessor, or to act as an intermediary between you and God, or the divinity, whatever you want to call it. But that's not true. The truth is that we have to awaken that the inner self that we have been diminishing so much. We have to awaken little by little, and that is through meditation, contemplation, and study.
Thank you. It's fascinating if you think about it. The idea, to me, it's all energy. I call it taking a stone of attention and throwing it in a pond of intention, which means it's all energy from within. If you go and try to give that to somebody else and say, can you do this for me? There's no flow. There's no energy. It's impossible.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
So you say something else that's fascinating to me. You said, nothing becomes real without the intermediation of the self-conscious mind. What does that mean?
Everything at least in my experience, is consciousness and the awareness that you are the I am, like Descartes, René Descartes said, we are the I am. The I am is consciousness, the awareness that we can create our reality, we can form our reality since going back again, since we were powerless, we allow other people to do our reality. We allow other people to create our reality. We don't take determination and create consciously what we want in life. And I mean, I'm not creating the whole world. I'm creating your personal reality, your personal environment. That is created, every human being created by through his thought, belief, and thinking. Creates his personal environment, his personal reality. That's why I'm thinking. Not the whole world. We don't have to do
Well, that's a co-creation of all of us creating our personal reality, creates this larger reality.
Yes, it is. It is true. That's right.
So,
That's the collective consciousness, as Jung said. The collective consciousness creates the whole reality. However, we need to cleanse all the negativity from the mass media in order to create a future that we want to in life.
and to me, that starts from within. We first get to work from within, as within, so without. When we start cleansing on the inside, we make different decisions of what we will consume, and we vote with our consumption.
That's right. That is correct. Absolutely true.
So let's talk about another fun concept that Einstein actually, he came up with a formula, but this was a bender for him because he never fully grasped this, because he went crazy when he's talking about spooky action at a distance. But going back to the pre-quantum side, what does E equals mc squared really have to do with us?
Is as you said before, it's just pure energy. The energy is flowing. The life force energy is flowing. And you grasp, you capture this energy with your mind, with your thoughts, feeling, emotion, and you turn into reality. That's quantum physics. Quantum physics is proving that reality is when some conscious mind capture this energy and turn into some form. So that's what they call the thought form become manifested or expressed into the physical world.
So there's literally, if we break down this formula, everything is energy, everything is vibration.
Exactly, that is true. Absolutely. Max Planck, you know, the scientist, the founder of the quantum physics, has said the ultimate reality is consciousness. He's scientist. He's physics. He's hard physics. He's not metaphysics or some kind of philosophy. He's coming from the very hard, defined scientific background. And he said consciousness is the ultimate reality and that everything is energy.
No, thank you. So I want to talk about our inalienable metaphysical rights. If you don't have them in front of you, I can read them off individually. First, the power of self-determination. What does that mean?
Self-determination is not only candy sugar desire. It has to be a will. It has to be back up for a strong will and desire to take action. The problem is too many thinkers or too many people who write about this stuff is thinking that only desire and you wishful thinking is going to be enough. No, you have to be determination, back up with a strong will is your power to create. That is very important. Otherwise, it's not going to go ahead anything.
Thank you. In fact, let's jump from there. Let's talk about the will to create. And you say humans possess the most powerful device under their belt, the power of creation in the present moment. What does that mean?
Yeah. For example, instead of what Edgar Tolle said, the power of now is just to be in the now. I mean, with that is for me personally is nonsense. Other is to be in passive state. You allow to other people create for you. You have to take the decision to create it now instead of the power of now and do nothing. Is you have to create your reality right now with your thoughts, feeling, and emotion. And whatever you have said to as a goal, you have to take action. That's very important. If you don't take action, you don't do nothing. And that your power is the action, is to follow what? Follow through. And that you direct your energy, your mental energy to whatever you want to create.
I love it. I call it the two-step dance. And the two-step dance means you put out there what you want. You pray. You do lots of different processes, but you have to step forward. It's the power of now to create. And if you don't take that stepping forward, you're missing a key ingredient.
That's absolutely right. That is absolutely right.
So what would you say is the purpose of human existence?
Okay, the purpose of human existence is to develop your awareness. That is to develop your consciousness. God, as most of the scientists, metaphysics, Buddhists, they call it's just consciousness. It's mind. So the theory is that God is awakening, and God, as Carl Jung said, God needs men in order to become more aware. So you, as long as you are becoming more aware, you develop your consciousness, you are also developing the mass consciousness. So the purpose of human existence is to develop your consciousness, to you develop your awareness to a higher level of awareness through meditation, study, and contemplation.
How is creation and creating, how is that a process of awakening the God consciousness?
Okay. The only thing that I find in myself is through study and meditation. Meditation is extremely important in order to you to be able to grasp reality that you sometimes you haven't able to see it. Meditation takes you to other level of consciousness. That's the way the process. So meditation and discipline to follow the practice of right meditation and right living is extremely important to get higher level of awareness.
Thank you. So how would you define right meditation, or what does that look like?
For me, right meditation is to follow your inner teachings, to be aware that life is in every moment full of opportunities, that every decision that you make, you open new doors, and to follow your intuition. So right meditation is gonna lead you to the right path. At least for me, it worked that way. That I am telling you only through my experience.
Thank you. Well, you mentioned something I think that's really important, particularly you mentioned media, and it's not just media. We are surrounded by multimedia, bombarding our senses, putting our brains into overdrive. But what's so important that you mentioned is we have to go to following our intuition.
That's right. That is right. That is right. The problem is, just to go back again, we are being indoctrinated since we were babies, we were a child. Our father make us believe in their beliefs. Our grandfather, our teacher, they did it as on purpose. They did it because they didn't know better. So we have to cleanse all this baggage in order to free our mind that whatever they knew is their knowledge, but that there was not actually for the betterment of humankind.
So do you watch your thoughts and listen to your thoughts? And it's an exercise I like to do with people in coaching, and have them ask, whose is this? Where did this come from? Is this mine?
Yeah, actually, as you said before, everything has a cause and effect. That's it. You attract whatever you're thinking or your feelings or emotions you are living. You attract things, events, and the people that according what you have set your mind on. So you got something is because the synchronicity. That would be explained by the synchronicity. You got whatever you need according to your state of mind.
So, however, the corollary I like to go at, and I've talked with Mitch Horowitz about this a lot, is there are other laws in place. So if a tragedy happens, while it may have been a result of our minds, we shouldn't pick on ourselves and say, I'm a bad person because X, Y, Z happens. It's instead, where do I choose to go from here?
That is correct. Yes, we should not dwell in the past. That if something happened, it's already in the past. So we have to take decision to from that moment ahead, not in the past. So the better thing is just to leave the past behind and to go ahead.
Thank you. What can you tell us about the law of attraction?
The law of attraction is sometimes misinterpreted. The law of attraction is not just think that you wish something and you're going to attract. Behind that, the problem is I can wish so many things, but if I have in my subconscious mind negative ideas or punishment or something that is going to hamper my desire, never is going to come up whatever I want. I have first to clean up all the negativity from my subconscious mind. Many people who want something, the problem is they cannot reach it because they already have some ideas that hamper their desire. For example, I'm not good, I don't deserve this, I am very sinful or whatever. So these ideas is going to hamper the crystallization or realization or the law of attraction. You may want so many things, but you have first to self-analyze and be clear that the thing that you need is in correlation with your inner self or your inner desire.
Is there an early step we take? It sounds like it's a multi-step process. One, we have to shower or scrub our subconscious so that we're not having a conflicting belief. And then we have to pull on this line of thinking and see it where it takes us.
That is absolutely true. The thing is, anything worth of having is not very easy. We always, it creates some effort. So the effort is to cleanse our subconscious mind and to see if they are aligned with the desires that we want to reach in life.
How do we start to do that with our subconscious mind?
Well, this is very, very long process. One is meditation, the other is self-hypnosis. Self-hypnosis also helps us to identify what are the negative patterns or negative self-defeating ideas that we harbor in our subconscious mind.
Is that something we can do with affirmations, or affirmations will just be completely kicked out by the subconscious?
Yeah, that's the problem. Affirmation will not work if you have self-defeating beliefs in your subconscious mind. So as long as you can say millions of times, an affirmation will not work if you don't first detect what's the problem in your subconscious mind, which is hampering the realization of your desire.
So from there, let's talk about, you talk about the importance of detachment with confidence. What does that mean?
Yeah, that means that if you are holding in your mind, for example, if I wish that I want a red car, once I formulated the desire and I leave it to the universe, I have to leave it the universe to take care of it, not to be always obsessed with the idea and keep it in the mind, and you don't detach, so you don't leave your desire to the universe that they can bring it to you.
It's interesting. If you put it out to the universe, that sounds exciting. It sounds positive. If you continuously dwell in it, then all of a sudden you're going to a place of lack. My life right now is less than because I'm depending on this future thing. And then you end up changing the energy that you put out towards it and canceling it out before it even can possibly
Right.
take place.
Yeah, that is exactly the truth. Yes.
Thank you. What's the importance of I am, and what does that really mean?
The I am, comes from the Bible, from when Moses found the burning bush, and God, the Christian God, identified with I am that I am, as I am that I am. Actually, Yo He Bo He is a substitute for me. It's a substitute name. The real name is I am that I am. When they ask, who I gonna say? When Moses asked the God over there, he said, who I gonna say to the Pharaoh that who sent me? Who sent me to you? He said, I am that I am is you. I am that I am. It's not him or not. It's you. I am the one. He's saying this. So you capture the message there is you, the God inside you, the inner self is asking you to do this.
Woohoo! So, being an I am, what does it mean that we are each a magician in our own right?
Right. Because we create whatever, as we were talking before, we create our reality according to our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Our own reality is created by ourselves, not by somebody else, it's by ourselves. We, most of the time, we allow other people create our reality because they give the ideas, they influence on us, they are very powerful in our life, so they create their influence, create our reality. But we have to independently and we have to be creative by ourselves, whatever you want in life.
And what does abracadabra have to do with anything?
Abracadabra means I create as I talk, as I speak. That's the real meaning of abracadabra. The thing is, people have mystified or taken from other sense, but abracadabra means I create as I speak.
Beautiful. And then, so how important is it to watch our own thoughts, or abracadabra, to watch our own words?
Is extremely important because now in metaphysics and mystic school are teaching whatever you said, whatever you think is gonna be impregnated. It's like a recorder in the universe. Is gonna be there, and in somehow or another affect to the humanity, the mental state of the human being. So it's extremely important what we think. And the thing is, we don't realize how powerful we are. We are extremely powerful, and we have to be very careful in what we speak, what we think, and what we wish for other people.
I love that one, what we wish for other people, because that gets around, well, there's a karma aspect to it, but if we wish the best for them, my belief is we're wishing the best for ourselves.
Right, yeah.
So what is, going along these lines, I love talking about magicians. What is a white magician?
The white magician is the person who wishes always the good for other human beings. The person who is always thinking a positive and uplifting thing. Who, for example, if you are walking on the street and say hello or give a smile, even a simple smile can make your life, can make your day. Can make your day. I believe it because when a person smiles to me, sometimes I feel much better than if I was kind of depressed. So it is amazing, even with a smile or saying saying hello or a greeting can uplift the other person. So our behavior can make a difference in the other people's life. So that's why I'm saying we are magicians, and the divine magician is always with spreading love, good thought, good feeling, good emotion, and try to uplift the other person. When you uplift, like Jesus Christ said, when you uplift my lesser brothers, I will be uplifted, or I will be going up. So it's amazing. When you help the other people, it's not helping other people, it's yourself. You are helping yourself. You are feeling much, much better. So that's what the white magician means, is everybody's a magician because everybody's creating their own reality. Everybody's creating their own environment. That's why I call magicians.
Thank you. And, going along the lines of a white magician, of you smile of somebody else, if you say something thoughtful of kind to somebody else, you change their day. But really, we can turn the mirror and say something kind to ourselves, smile to ourselves, use these same things that we've been taught almost not to do, but to turn it inward toward ourselves as well.
Yes, absolutely true. There is absolutely, yes, you can help yourself. And that's what the meaning, the self-help. Self-help is to help oneself, not some other people that are going to pay money to help me. That's not self-help. That's why I criticize in this book. Is self-help is come from our inside. And as you said very well, we can help yourself giving good words or good thinkings or good feelings is extremely important for our well-being.
How do we start to train the mind? Because if I'm understanding right, while we shouldn't pick on ourselves, I don't even like that term shouldn't, because our words are so important, it's very easy to slip up. Like things are going well and all of a sudden something happens and we go, oh no, here it is now. How do we start to train and rewire our mind so that we are creating the reality we desire?
Right. The key here is attitude. The attitude, the interpretation you give to the event. That's very important. You how you interpret your event that happened. Sometimes you can in that moment you are enmeshed in the problem and you don't see it further. But later on you can relax and calm down and you can see in better form the situation. And as I said before, is how I take this event or problem or accident myself. I mean, as a lesson, as something that I need to learn, or as a punishment, or it's very important what is gonna be the attitude that you take from this event.
Thank you. I think to put it succinctly, you're asking whether the event is happening to me or for me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
And if you have that frame of mind that everything is happening for me, it changes everything.
Exactly. That is true.
What can you tell us is the importance of personal self-control?
That's self-discipline. In other words, it's self-discipline and that requires a lot of effort and self-examining ourselves. We have to usually examine what is our point of view or attitude, and that's going to take us a self-control. And I admire very much the Stoics, the philosophy, the Stoic, which always recommend to be to have in your mind is your fortress. Whatever happens outside is happening, but in your mind, how you handle your mind, your thought, your feeling, that's very important. That's self-control. Because sometimes you cannot control what's going on outside, but you can control what is going inside you. That's self-control.
A lot of people listening will say, that sounds good, but I've never been able to control the mind. I've never been able to tame the horses. How do I start to corral these horses?
I know it's not very easy, but little by little, with time and effort, you can be little by examination and meditation, you can be controlling your mind. I'm not absolutely full, but at least some part of your reaction, because what the problem is here is the reaction is automatic. Mm-hmm. You don't think I'm going to behave this way. You react at that moment. But that's why you have to go to the root of the problem, which is in the subconscious mind again. So the control of the reaction is actually a control of your attitudes.
It's almost a different power of now, to use his term, power of now, to be able to observe your thoughts, and then from that, cultivating that awareness, then to be able to take control of them.
Right. Yeah, that's right. That is right.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's talk about the creative process. What does that look like?
The creative process is we have first to decide what we want to achieve in life, and then there is steps. There's so many steps. You can disclose in several steps and follow the step that you want to do it one day, the following day, the third day, and meditation is gonna help you to see where are you heading on. And sometimes we can deviate from our path, but we can come back. And the process of creation is focusing your mind, because your mind or your consciousness, your mind is always creating, whether or not you're aware of it. Your mind is always creating your reality because it's grasping this life force energy which is flowing. So we have to be aware of that. That's the problem. That's the key. Awareness, because you are creating whether you want to or not. That's what they call it. You create by default. That's automatically, or by awareness. That's the key.
It's fascinating. You've got me thinking about Dr. Rick Hansen, Hardwired for Happiness, and some other brilliant books, and our default mechanism of looking for the tiger. So if we want to create, and we're going, I don't know, I'm creating a perfect job. I'm creating a perfect job. But then you go, oh my God, look at that. Oh my God, look at that. I wonder what's going to happen over here. I wonder what's going to happen over there. Then instead of creating your perfect job, you're focusing on what you don't want.
You have said absolutely true. We focus too much in what we lack or what we don't want, instead of focusing our mind in what we want to achieve. So that's the problem. That's we sabotage ourselves. That's the sabotage. That we want something, but we focus in what we don't want. That's the simple key of this problem.
Thank you. So what does this mean to you? The first thing is to accept responsibility for the present situation. Let go of the past. Forgive oneself and others, and reassess one's options for the future according to one's real mental, intellectual, and physical capabilities.
Exactly. And for me is to expand our consciousness. That's the ultimate purpose of life, to expand our consciousness. No matter how much money you can reach, famous, you can be famous, you can be the richest man of the world, or no matter what the idea is how to expand your consciousness. That way you're gonna help also the mass consciousness. You're gonna help, as you said, you're gonna help God in awakening itself after the what they call prelaya in India, or the prelaya means that God was in a period of sleeping, and now is in a process of awakening.
Does that, we have a guilt complex here in the West. We are told we are less than, and we are told although it's glamorized on Hollywood that you should go for it all, we're told that we're less than, and that if we have it all, we should feel guilty about it. So, is our responsibility to focus on raising or growing the God consciousness while withholding from ourselves?
Yes, as we said before, the problem is we have been indoctrinated that we are powerless. that we are sinful. By religious, usually they said you are sinful and that you cannot gain anything other just when because by your own effort you cannot gain anything by your effort. Is by the church or by the priest or somebody who's gonna save you. So we think this is the only way to go, but it's not true because everybody has the inner power to manifest whatever they want in life, and the all this indoctrination that we have been subject to is it has to be removed from our mind in order to be free. That's the problem.
Is there anything wrong with wanting to create or wanting to attract into our lives?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Is there one of the complaints about the law of attraction or about The Secret, one of the complaints is that you're talking about material things, wanting a better car, wanting a better house. Is there anything, if we are using the law of attraction, the power of intention, if we're using these things to create comfort in our lives or to create things, is that an abuse of it or is that okay?
I think if I understood you well, everything is good for you as long as you want it. But depend what you want in your life, what experience. The problem is we are here, our purpose is to gain experience, and experience is going to give us wisdom. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing, is through experience is going to give wisdom, and wisdom is going to help us to raise our awareness. And we make a wrong decision, or we make something that I was supposed not to do it, but this is going to give me experience. That is going to give me some kind of learning, and so life is a process of learning to gain wisdom.
Thank you. So along those lines, then, what's the importance of being patient and kind with ourselves, particularly as we're learning?
Right. We have to, because for example, let's say one child who has not developed yet the level of consciousness, he can make many mistakes. Or one adult, he's gonna see this is a child who doesn't have any power of discrimination, and he does many things wrong. So, but however, the child, as he grows, as he learns, gain experience, he's gonna get more mature, and he's gonna know that something is wrong and something is good for himself or for his family or society.
Thank you. On that note, how would you define discrimination, or what's the importance of it then?
Now, also again, that's to your level of awareness. Your level of awareness that is going to allow you to discriminate according to your wisdom. So for different people, it's going to be different way. It's going to be to the level of awareness. Some people have not developed the level of awareness to the other level from other people. So it depends. It depends actually. The wise people have different kind of awareness, so they can decide or have a reach. They can reach a better level of conclusions about life.
Gotcha. I think this is what you were talking about with Stoicism earlier, and you mentioned it a few other times in various ways early on, the notion of self-reliance.
Self-reliance is another word for confidence in yourself, and be aware that you have everything in you. And Jesus Christ himself has said, the kingdom of God is within.
Yes.
It's not outside, it's in yourself. So again, we're coming back again, that we have been indoctrinated, that we are powerless, that we are not good, and that only the church or somebody else is going to be able to help us. We have to regain our power. We have to awake to, that's why my book, the name is Awaken the Inner Power.
Along those lines, though, the power is within, as within, so without, but also prayer can be, providential help can be very helpful too.
Right. Yes. Yes. Right. Yes.
What's the importance of prayer?
Prayer is extremely important because it's our communication. It's our communication with our inner self. We are not praying to somebody else or some idol or something else. We are praying to our inner self. That's very important to keep in mind. So the inner self is like sleeping if we were having awakened. So we have to get in touch with the inner self with a good intention, good desire, and loving kindness. Is extremely important. So the only thing that we can get into our inner self again is praying and meditation. Though both are the keys for getting in touch with our inner self.
Woohoo! How do you what would you define is intense and honest prayer?
Honest prayer. Also, we have to understand when we usually prayer is only affirmations, positive affirmation, we want to say, because prayer we are always affirming the same thing. When we are praying, we affirm the same prayer over and over and over and over. So they are positive affirmation, loving affirmation, or loving desires, and intention is extremely important because again we are going back to our power. Even if I desire good intention to our human beings, it's gonna materialize sooner or later. I was amazed when I was in my country. For example, a girl, 15 or 16 years old, intuitively know if she decides bad thing to the boyfriend who makes something to her, it's gonna become true. And so they used to say, "No, I don't want to wish anything wrong to him," because they knew by intuition if they decide something wrong, it's gonna be manifested in the life of the other person.
We had on Mitch Horowitz recently. We love him, and we were talking about the expression "be careful what you wish for."
Exactly. Yes. Yes. It is very important that.
So if I was to take off my coaching hat and I was to put it on you, Albert, and you were to give people a homework assignment today to awaken the power within, what would that homework assignment be?
First of all, an examination of their desire and intentions is extremely important. As you said before, don't wish whatever, which can be also harmful to yourself. So it's very important to determine or to examine what kind of wishes I have or what kind of patterns I have in my mind. And once I examine that and once I clear up all the negativity from my mind, and to be, the second step is to be by ourselves and to meditate and to determine that our aim or goal in life is to gain more awareness, more consciousness, and that's the only thing that we're gonna take care to the other side. When we go to the other side, when we die, we're not gonna take our clothes or our cars. We are gonna take only the level of awareness, how level I got, how high I got, so I can in the other side I can see higher than the other people who didn't have this same level. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going again. The purpose is how to gain more awareness, more consciousness. That's the purpose of life. So they have to be aware of that. So thinking on that is very important. The purpose of meditation, contemplation, and praying.
Woohoo! What advice would you give to parents to help their kids today?
The parents, they have to leave the kids to develop their own faculties and inner desire, because I think everybody has come to this world to acquire some kind of experience. For example, I was born in a specific country, a specific family, in a specific economical situation to gain that experience. What does mean for me? What does mean for me? So if since I learned that experience, now I know what is compassion. So I can have compassion for other people who are in the same situation or who can go through the same experience. So another word that was missing is compassion for our human beings, and that we are working for our human brotherhood and sisterhood.
I love it, love it, love it. On that note, what personally brings you the greatest happiness, or what I call the woohoo factor?
My spiritual teacher was Paul Foster Case, who was a great Kabbalist, and his lessons has taught me on Kabbalah, alchemy, and self-mastery a lot to me.
Awesome, awesome. Is there one more tool you would like to teach us about alchemy?
Well, there are so many, but the one who worked for me is the builders of the Aritu. Aritu meaning inner temple. So these builders of the inner temple, BOTA, builders of the which is in California, and that's the best school that worked for me in alchemy, Kabbalah, tarot, astrology. They put all the Occidental philosophy and theology, Kabbalah in some school in a very cohesive, coherent way.
Very, very cool. Can you tell us, where can we go to find out more and to find your book?
In Amazon.com or any other libraries, book libraries, the book is gonna found, and I think it's gonna help to many people.
Awesome. And do you have a website that you want to tell people about?
Yes, my website is www.albertamao.com.
www.albertamao.com.
That is correct.
Fantastic. So if you didn't catch www.albertamao.com, come on over to inspirenationshow.com and we'll get you over to www.albertamao.com. Any last words of wisdom before we do a brief prayer?
I wish we can gain more. We are going back again to the same word. I wish we can gain more awareness in life, and that awareness is going to allow us to comprehend, to understand other people, not to discriminate, not to hate, not to put bad words, but to understand and compassion in the world. That's extremely important. And besides that, love for the human being.
Woohoo! So what is the God flame of love?
The flame of love for me is understanding and taking the other person as it is. We have to understand that everybody's in the same level. So we should always accept other people, no matter for which background, no matter which social background or ethnic background or gender or whatever. We have to understand them because everybody has come to this world to gain some experience.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Would you have a brief prayer you wouldn't mind sharing with us, Albert?
Yes, I'm gonna read the prayer that is in the last page of my book, which is Invocation to the Flame. Actually, this invocation summarizes the spiritual message of my book. Okay, this is it. I call upon thee, O living God, radiant with illuminating fire. O unseen parting of the sun, pour forth thy light-giving power and energize this divine spark. Enter into this flame and let it be agitated by the breath of thy Holy Spirit. Manifest thy power and open for me the temple of the Almighty God which is within this fire. Manifest thy light for my regeneration, and let the bread, high fullness, and crown of the solar radiance appear, and may the God within shines forth.
Amen and
Amen.
woohoo! Thank you so much, Albert. This has been
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
And I am truly honored to have spoken with you today.
Thank you.
So for everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler saying, be well, have fun, get awaken the power within, and begin creating your life from within today and shine bright. Woohoo! Thank you so much, Albert.
Thank you. Thank you to you.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like below. Also, leave your comments. Have some real fun with it. Subscribe to our channel where you're going to get more great videos, more interviews coming up. And check out our website, inspirenationshow.com. That's where you'll find tips, blogs, information, videos you won't find anywhere else, and useful and helpful resources to really help you kickstart your life and to shine bright. Thanks so much again. Thank you for your support. Like, comment, subscribe. See the website. Thanks so much and have fun. Of course, shine bright. Woohoo!